evening, everybody, and welcome to Inside Line Racing. We are in round number 40. I'm lost track of the round numbers, but anyway, we're at the Marina Bay Circuit tonight in Singapore, and this is ILR3 on Xbox, so this should be a very exciting one. Tyre temperatures are going to play a key factor here. I am Jess, and joining me, as per usual tonight, is Jack.
Hello.
So last week proved to be very interesting for the drivers as we haven't got an updated standings at the moment, but there was some great battles with our championship leaders, and also Jason did pretty well as well. So the championship is pretty much wide open. We did see some carnage in turn one, but Singapore is a street circuit, so they need to be more aware and a little bit more cautious around tonight, because they can't just go plain sailing into turn one. They just got to keep the car steady and make sure the tyre temperature is up to par, because especially on those hypersofts, these tyres can get warm pretty quickly here.
I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see anybody qualifying on the hypersoft tyre, because the baby feel amazing in qualifying, but I've tried it. That car feels awful when it comes to the race. It lasts probably about 3 laps, and then that'll be a lot of it. They overheat. Overheating is a massive issue around this track. If you heat your car up, don't think you're going to cool it down again. It won't happen. Like, most of the time you'll have your tyres with the car goes around 103, 104, so going under steering and oversteering is quite common. Already yellows in sector 1, not too sure what that was for.
I don't know either, but there was probably someone that was just going down on that outlap, of course, getting used to the track. Some people on the hypersoft now at the moment, though, that's a little bit of a gamble at the moment, but they're maybe just getting a feel of the car on those hypersoft tyres, so they're aware what the best tyre is to use for the race. They had 80 minutes of qualifying, so they got a while to just find the right tyres. No super softs today, just the ultras, hypers and the softs. The super softs have been skipped, not the first time. I believe Canada was the one where the super softs were skipped, not entirely sure.
What was that? Blazing Thunder just went really wide at the last corner. I wouldn't be surprised if that invalidated his lap straight away.
Probably.
Very wide.
So he was actually starting on a lap on the hypers. I thought he was on the ultras, but the distinguish between the hypers and the ultras is the hypers are a lighter pink to the ultras. The ultras is kind of like a dark purple, pretty much. So that's how you can tell the difference on the car. So I don't think it'll be probably Blazing Splendor, because his lap time probably got validated. So lap times today, probably we can see around about the 136s, 135s. I believe probably a bit faster. Yeah, Ados has just lost his end plate by the sound of it, so I won't be surprised if he has to go to the pit to get it changed, because that's going to definitely change his approach when it comes to his lap, because he'll have to probably pit again and not go on lap. But I'll be surprised if he goes on a lap now. Yes, he goes to the pits, because he hit the wall there. And it's quite easy to hit the wall in around Singapore, I gotta say. So that is probably why they need to get their laps in early, because if they get their laps in towards the end, that's why they can cause a bit of trouble. JJ Rocks is on a lap now. Zelina's just gone with a 1:35.4 straight out of the bat. That is a pretty fast lap, but again, it's on those hypersoft tyres, so Zillian will be alright track position, but when he pits, it's going to be a while, because when I was commentating yesterday, the person who started on pole on those hypersoft tyres didn't end up winning the race. They dropped way down the field, but they were involved in a lot of battles, but they had to stretch those soft tyres for quite a bit to make it last till the end. But the tyre crash is on, obviously, so this could last a while if they do that. So a bit of a gamble there. Hamilton I think just came in second there, and it was a 1:37.8. So that is a bang lap for him at the moment. We could see faster at the moment. Still quite a few people to set their lap times around this very tough circuit. Following Hamilton, who else is on the lap? Oh, Dave Runners looks like he was struggling around that bridge there. As a few of these guys are struggling. I won't be surprised if a lot of these guys have been validated lap times right off the bat, because it is that tricky. I wonder if it's trickier than Baku. For me, I find it trickier than Baku because it is tighter.
I'm the other way around. Baku, oh, yellow in sector 1. Anybody hit the wall?
I don't know.
That is Barry that stopped, but he's just getting out of the way. He's going to have to watch out that he doesn't get disqualified for being parked in a dangerous location, because that's something we see quite a lot nowadays.
Yes.
People, most of the time, just innocently trying to get out of the way, but the game sort of qualifies that as being parked in a dangerous location, but they have stopped, so
That is
up
good.
to the game, really.
So, yeah,
this is different to Baku in the sense that the curbs, you can actually ride the curbs in this circuit, and the walls aren't right up against, well, in most corners, the walls aren't right up against the apex of the corner, whereas pretty much Baku, there's only a couple of corners where you can get away with a little bit of a mistake, and if you hit the curb wrong in Baku, you all get shunted off the curb and hit the opposite wall on the other side of the track, again, because the track's so narrow.
Yes.
Because the curbs are lighter, you can ride them, you can attack more, it just feels a bit nicer.
It does, if you do it that way, and if you approach it like some people will be doing tonight, then it's not going to work out in your favours, I've got to say. So, yeah, interestingly, loads of people are qualifying on the softs at the moment, just to see if that all works out. Ultras and Supers, I think it doesn't really matter what tyres you qualify out of those, because that is an easy one stop, but if you qualify on the Hypers, definitely, I don't know how you would do a one stop on a Hypers to softs. It would be quite difficult, I can imagine, so probably 2 stops, Hyper soft to softs, and then go on to the Ultras, which will last to the end. Some say it's faster on the 2 stop, but I don't think so. I think starting on the Ultras, then going on to the softs is the fastest strategy around today, because you can gain track position. JJ Rocks had his lap time invalidated, so not the best lap time from him, but so far the top 9 have qualified, and Dylan is just on a class of his own. I think he was the only one that took the gamble at the moment, but everyone else is on the best tyre, I think, at the moment. Ados is back on a lap, I believe, so hopefully he can improve on his minor shunt. It was kind of minor, it looked like, from what I was watching earlier on, but hopefully he could get him more together this time as well.
Well, in league racing the other day, qualifying seems to matter less and less the more F1 games we get, because the other day, about a week ago, I think you were actually commentating on the particular league that I was talking about. Somebody won in Hungary from P16 on the grid. So it's just a question of, does qualifying really matter that much? Because in real life, we know the lowest qualifying position ever to actually win the race.
Yeah.
Was, this is a bit of knowledge, John Watson from P22 on the grid at Long Beach. There's a fact.
Someone from another league, it was actually ILR on Sunday, qualified last in, I think it was Monza, and he won it. So, well,
yeah.
Monza is probably one of the easiest tracks to start from last and win the race, but Singapore, maybe not. So if you start last on the grid, then you're probably going to struggle going basically to try and get to the top of the field. So track position, I think, especially in these conditions or these tyre temperatures, is key. But the one advantage is it hardly rains in Singapore at all, so it's more than 100% chance it's going to be dry. So that's why setup's the key, but they have a lot of practice in terms of their laps. But I'm quite surprised no one has matched the top 2 on the softs and the ultras, APS Hamilton and APS Steerage yet. They're on the 137s. I know they can improve ever so slightly, but Hamilton the fastest lap time on the softs, interestingly enough, and Steerage on the ultras. So Hamilton's definitely going to get stretch those tyres a bit more. Titan's slowing down, so I won't be following him on a lap, I gotta say. And
there's loads of yellows popping up in places. I don't know if that's people getting out of the way or what.
Or collisions, I don't know, hitting walls.
That was a Merc going slowly, just warming up his tyres on the back straights. But yeah, I'm surprised no one's even come close to average's time. He's around over 2 seconds quicker than anyone else. So softs have quite a deficit around here. That's probably just because of the amount of corners that are around here rather than the actual speed of them.
Yeah. Yeah, to be honest, I think some of them
Yeah.
don't like Singapore. I've read the chat and they don't like Singapore due to the fact it's mainly about the tyre temps. So like in the last games they have no tyre temps on, but in this game I think it's probably the hardest track to manage your tyres effectively. So that's probably why some people find it harder than Baku, some people find it easier. It does depend on your ability, really. So I think I can see the people like Steerage and Hamilton who hardly use any assist. I can see them there; they'll be fine. I think they should be fine because obviously they're used to tyre temps and managing it. But the ones that use assist, they're gonna find it. They're gonna struggle, I think, with the tyre temps. So that's why I think Hamilton and Steerage, I think, are probably gonna do well tonight. I think it's I don't know who else doesn't use assist. I think Jason doesn't either. He might use Racing Line, but I don't think Jason uses assist at all. So I think he's probably going to do well tonight as well. Saying that, I'm predicting those now. They may do bad in the race, but not going to say anything more.
Ooh.
Oh, Blazing Slender's taken a moment there.
That was close.
That was close, to be honest with you. And the ones that are starting on the softs, though, they're going to find it hard in qualifying as well because they are quite bad in qualifying. So if Hamilton wants to get a good lap in, Ultras is the way to go, I think. As I think Morgan was pointing out in the chat, 5 people still want to set a lap. They've got to be careful because they've got 5 minutes left. And on a track like Singapore, it's a very long track. I think one of the second longest tracks on the calendar. They've got to get it now. Wow. Lillian just gone fastest again.
Yeah, that is a time and a half.
1:35.3 on the Hypersofts. That is just incredible. But he's going to have to pit early as well. So, but I have seen, well, maybe he could make it work, but I'm not seeing...
He's definitely going to have to do an extra stop than everyone else, I think.
Yeah,
those Hypers go off within the first 5 laps easy.
Yeah.
And the reason Singapore seems so long is because it's a reasonably average sort of lap length, but it's because you've got a circuit length of track, but you're going around it at street circuit speeds. So you're going slower, but it's over an average time. Because Monza, I think, is actually the second longest, but because 75% of the track is full throttle, it seems to be over quite quickly because it's not the amount of time that it takes for Grand Prix to finish. It's when you reach that 300-kilometre mark, and that's when the last lap is. That's what we've seen, I think, 3 times. Yeah, I think we've seen 3 occasions around Singapore in real life where we've gone to the 2-hour mark instead of the final lap just because it takes so long.
Yeah, I won't be surprised if it was like 2008. I don't know, but that was actually interesting fact. That was when the first race was, and that caused quite a lot of controversy, I've got to say. Not much to go on right now. I'm not going to say much about it right now, but I think it was mainly about a Renault driver, 2 Renault drivers working together. Need I say more? Hopefully this won't happen in the real life race. Well, in this race anyway. Jason's not on lap at the moment, just passing sector 2 on those soft tyres. I think most people are not going to worry about laps in Singapore. I think they're just worrying about the race, I think, strategy-wise, for those slower lap times, I think. So, it's not the best time to qualify on the soft, but I think they're concentrating mainly on the race. I'm just looking online to see if I can find who got pole in Singapore and what lap time it was. I can't seem to find it.
It was Hamilton this year, I think, and I think he did it at 36.0.
Yeah, 136.015. So already we've seen it broken. But again, this game is just fast in terms of handling. In Australia, the pole time was broken by a massive margin as well. So, yeah, so we haven't seen any of the ultra soft runners go into the 136s yet. So we'll have to wait and see. I've seen last night the ultras went to the 136s, so we'll have to find out.
Yeah, you can.
Oh, Andrew's just got
can see.
Second fastest.
Who's that?
Andrew.
Oh yeah, he did. That is one thing you do see a lot though in this game. You will probably see that the times are much faster than in real life times. I think the world record around Singapore is something ridiculous, like 4 seconds faster than Hamilton's pole time, just because of the nature of the game. So I think there's only like a couple of circuit, so the real lifetime is faster, but that's only because the track itself is different. Like Spa, I'm pretty sure it's quicker.
Yeah, and Morgan just pointed out it's 305 kilometres, not 300. But don't go for my word, but that's what Morgan said as far as track length. I don't know. I don't know how long some track lengths go until they reach their certain threshold, but we got a yellow flag and set to 3 again. We're seeing a lot of collisions. Dumb Thunder's just gone 5th fastest on those Serv Ultras. Oh! Steerage with a 136.9 on the soft tyres. How's he go that fast?
Wow.
Fusion 136.5. There we go. That is where we're starting to see the actual proper lap times come through on those tyres, the ultras and the softs. Thank goodness for that. So Zillion is not really fast at the moment. Easy Fusion. How did that go? I've seen him right down the bottom at the moment. So he must be wanting to get a faster lap time. Hamilton said he can't go faster, so he's retiring. I think he must have bought his lap somehow, I think, or got a lap invalidated at the moment.
There you go. I've got the track lengths. This is a definition from Wikipedia, so these, not my words, not any of our words. The race length is defined as the smallest number of complete laps that exceeds 305 kilometres.
Yes,
the Monaco Grand Prix is the sole exception, with a race length of 78 laps, 260.5 kilometres. Though occasionally some races are truncated due to special circumstances.
Yeah. So yeah. Thanks for that. I want to know that for future races, to be honest with you, because I wonder if it's like that in the game where there's loads of safety cars. Does it? If it's a 100% race, does it just go for 2 hours? I don't know, but I've never done 100% races or commentated on 100% races at all, so I don't know. But anyway, the checkered flag has fallen then, so Steerage, I think, nope, he's not going to make it, so he's going back to the pits, so he's not going to set a faster lap time. Easy Fusion, nope, he's not going to set a faster lap time, so I think everyone's going back to the pits. Zillion's on a lap time at the moment, still on those hypersofts. I don't know how he's managed it, because he's got to manage those for the race, and they're already starting to rubber in a little bit, so I don't know how that's going to work out. And technically, he can pit now, because everyone further down the field is on a harder compound, and they're in the pits or on a slower lap, on a in-lap at the moment, so he can afford to pit and save his or tyre and save his tyre grip, I gotta say. But we will have to find out, as it looks like unless ADOS can go faster, Zillion can take pole. As I think, yeah, ADOS is on the lap at the moment. We'll see how fast he can go. We'll see if he can go and climb the field. He's not going to be pole.
He's on the ultras, so he's going to go up a lot.
That is a good lap time from him, as he's fed on those set of ultra soft tyres. That's going to help him in the race. One of his best qualifying positions.
Oh, Zillion.
What? 1:44.7 on those hypers. That is probably the fastest. Lap time I've seen in Singapore in this game. 1:34s. I wonder. Is it just that he's found a lot of grip? I've got to say. That is crazy. 1.7 seconds clear of the rest of the field. Oh, how is he going to manage to the race? I don't know, but I think he just wants to get the glory, and he's got the glory today. Easy Fusion on second place, the fastest of the ultra soft runners. He's going to gain more of an advantage for the rest of the field, with ADOS in third. Steerage, the fastest guy on those softs. Pretty good lap time from him. Atlantis 5th, Andrew 6th, Hamilton 7th. Don't Thunder 8th, Jason in 9th, JJ Rocks in 10th, and the rest of the field goes on as follows. Prime, Blazing Sender, AJH, Dark Phoenix, Barry, Leper, and Zanardi unfortunately does not set a lap time, and he starts at the back of the grid. But don't forget, if you're on the bottom half of the grid, you get 3 choice of tyres, but if you're on a starting from P1 up to P10, you got to start on the tyre you qualified your fastest lap, which means Zillion has to start on those hypersoft tyres. I wonder how this is going to work out for Zillion, Jack.
Yeah, he's either going to see the grip fading and he's going to come in just before they go off, or he may stay out accidentally 1 lap too long, like I did, like I have a few times, and just completely lose it.
Yeah. Hopefully he doesn't lose it, but he's got to find the balance between his tyres. Don't push it too much, but don't forget he's got a few people behind him on tyres that are going to last longer. So it's just finding the best element, really. You got to fight your battles and try and defend your position, but also you got to conserve your tyres as well. That's why starting on the hypers is tricky as well. So what are your thoughts in the chat on who you think is going to win this race? And I can't call it at the moment, but Ados looking pretty strong. Steerage looking pretty strong as well on those tyres as well. So Steerage could be on course to take another win if possible. I think that's my prediction as the formation lap is on then. Let's just see what the bottom half are qualifying on. They're all on the softs from 9th downwards. That is interesting, but they're going to be on the alternate strategy. Sometimes the alternate strategy does work out. In some leagues I found that they're like that.
Zillion is the only one on the hypers.
Yeah, a few.
So it's going to be an interesting race for him, I think.
APS, not. Apparently I said something else. My bad. No, I didn't. I'm reading it wrong. Morg said the APS lads think they're going to win. So. Yeah, I think they're going to. I think, because obviously I predicted in qualifying that they're actually going to do well because they don't want assist. But we could see someone else beat them. We'll have to wait and see. And Morgan's also predicted Fusion's going to do well as well. So it is anyone's game, I've got to say, around here. As most of these guys are ghosted. Zillion's been disqualified. That's not going to help him with his tyre wear. So I think Easy Fusion and Ados is going to get a better run on the start line with probably an attack from Steerage, I think. So, and yeah. So I can't wait for this race. It's going to be around about 50 minutes. That's how long it was last night in ILR3 for PS4. And yeah, JJ Rocks was lagging quite a bit for me apparently. But
yeah, people are saying in the chat that he's lagging. So hopefully that gets sorted out eventually. But
yeah, hopefully it will.
If it becomes an issue, we might have to take action.
Yeah, hopefully it'll be sorted though, as Fusion is going towards the final few corners, ready to start, ready to join alongside Zillion on those hypersofts. I think 2 or 3 started on the hypers last night in ILR.
Yeah, I'm expecting Zillion to get the best initial launch of everyone. It's just a question of how well he can keep it together, because normally those on the softer tyre, even though they probably will go off quicker, will normally pretty much always get the quicker launch. So I'm expecting Zillion to lead into turn 1, and then Easy Fusion and Ados will be following close behind, obviously, because they've got Steerage on the softs.
Yeah.
Steerage may lose maybe a place or 2, but he'll probably quickly make that back up if he does.
Yeah, oh, the camera just changed quite quickly there. But anyway, we're about to go for the Singapore Grand Prix, and it is lights out and away we go. And Fusion got a very good start there, as he got the better run into turn 1. As I think Ados is trying to cover up. Oh, there's a bit of contact from Zillion and Easy Fusion. That's allowing Ados to gain better trap position at the moment. As I think most people got it away cleanly into turn 1. That is a huge surprise, I've got to say. I think Zillion is struggling on those hypersoft tyres already. And Easy Fusion is in the lead of this Grand Prix with Ados not that close behind. Lance in 4th, not that bad, trying to make a move past Zillion in the Mercedes. Probably going to get the better run going into these couple of turns. There are Andrews getting quite a few positions as well in 5th. APS Hamilton in 6th. Steerage, interestingly, has dropped a few positions from his starting time. He's dropped 3 positions, so he had a poor start already in turn 1. As Jason is trying to gain some ground from JJ Rocks. Looks like he's done it. It's quite tough to overtake around Singapore, but probably easier than Hungary, I've got to say. As I think we've got Zillion trying to catch up to Ados. Ooh, that is a very tight run that Zillion has made approaching now. I think he made sensible decision going on those hypersoft, but he's lost a bit of ground already. As Ados is hit the wall a little bit there. That's probably going to compromise his downforce a little bit going through these laps, and he's probably going to have a longer pit stop. But I'm surprised that he's still managing to catch up, but he's on softer tyres, so that's probably why. We already see a train forming at the moment as Easy Fusion will be the fastest lap at the moment.
Yeah, he's going to have a go for it in turn 1 though. Zillion average. Is he going to make it? No, the Force India's got a decent amount of grip, and I think he's managed to hold it around the outside, but he goes for another dive into turn 3 and makes it stick. It could have been a bit like Massa and Hulkenberg back in 2015, but that managed to stay reasonably straight. And look at Easy Fusion, he's just gone from the other. He's already almost got a 2-second advantage at the end of the first lap. And I think Zillion average coming into the back straight had a bit of a half spin on the first lap.
Yeah.
Because he went up side with the Toro Rosso of ILR Andrew as well. And then he was about to get swarmed by about 3 or 4 cars, but then he managed to defend brilliantly on what I think are pretty cold hypers at the time, which is why he didn't get the best start, because obviously he was disqualified in the formation lap, which stopped him from heating up his tyres anymore.
Yeah, he started to lose a bit of pace from Easy Fusion already. Easy Fusion on those ultras doing well and trying to cope to his... Oh, we got a yellow flag in. Oh, it's Barry. It's Barry had a little bit of a moment. I think Time Prime was involved as well. But I think Barry got a bit worse for wear more than Titan. I can't see what damage he's got. I think he has
I don't think he has any damage. I think he's just maybe tried to go up the inside or something. You can't really see if he's missing any turning vanes because, well, the Sauber wing's black. I think Leper's had a moment, didn't see what that was. Again, the wing's black, so he can't see if he's got any damage.
No,
in the Singapore, it's pretty much impossible to see any of the turning vanes.
Yeah, and we are seeing, I think, another battle approaching with Zillion and Easy Fusion. That's going to be interesting to see how much Zillion's tyres can manage, because if he goes on though...
wow.
Oh, Zillion's taking position.
Big quick work of that.
That was easy. But they're on softer tyres. That's probably not a shocker. What was the other close battle we are emerging? Oh, Ados is pitted. I didn't see what happened there.
I'm not too sure. He might have lost a bit of...
I
thought he did drop quite a bit on the second lap.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if he got any wing damage or what. But he sort of fell back into the Mercedes and Zillion average and did quite an easy overtake on both of the Williams and the Force India. I'm surprised those hypers are holding up that well at the moment, but obviously he's much better at keeping tyre temperature regulated than I am, because from what I experience, these normally go off within about 3-4 laps. I'm not sure if they're going to go off soon, but at the moment they seem pretty solid.
Yeah, they do. Zillion still managing the best at the moment, already pulling away 1.2 seconds. And I think someone else that's quite closing up is APS Hamilton, who's gained quite a fair ground. He's gained 3, and so is AR Andrew as well. So it'll be interesting how Hamilton's going to gain some ground as well. Dark Phoenix in the 10th place, gained 4 positions. AJ has gained 2 positions. Zanardi's gained 3 as well. So quite a few gainers already. And watch out for JJ Ross as well, as he's gained quite a few positions as well, and he's on an alternate strategy as well. So I wonder how this is going to turn out for him. We see people on the alternate strategy last night go on to win the race. So that could be potential.
Zillion average having a bit of a slide going through turn 2 there, so I think those hypers are starting to go off. And Supercharged Award, which is my award, my personal award, goes to Dark Phoenix, who I forgot to do at the end of the second lap. I think the positions haven't changed all too much, so I think he's able to keep that. I think I saw a Red Bull pulling out to the side of a Toro Rosso. I did. P3 and P4, AO Andrew and APS Hamilton going side by side. Hamilton on Andrew, and he goes around the outside. Good move there from the Red Bull. I don't think he had DRS either for some reason. Well, he didn't have it open, whatever happened.
Yeah, he is fighting for position, I got to say, and he's doing that very, very well. And he's going to try and catch up to Zillion. Fusion's just got past Zillion with a flash at the moment. We've got a yellow flag in set to 2. Probably something minor, because I don't see dropping.
I think it's placing Slender.
Slender. So I think Zanardi's gained and Slenden's lost it. But
He's lost a bit of his wing.
yeah, I think it's mainly his rear because his front wing looks attached. He's lost a bit of his end plate there, but I'm not entirely sure. It is quite hard to see. In the dark, Zillion has lost it! Zillion has lost it! His tyres are starting to give in Singapore. We did predict it was going to come around about this time, and it has. So he is now dropped it, and APS Hamilton's all over the back of Zillion now. And Zillion has been in. Oh, this is going to be ever so tight. Hopefully he won't go into any collisions. And yeah, Zillion
I think that was
pitting.
fine. Oh, he goes on the other side of the pit lane as well. So that just shows how sudden the loss of grip is on the hypers. Yellow's in sector 3. Blazing Slender's gone.
He's out. Oh, that
He's
is
gone
that
into
bridge.
the Bruno Senna wall.
Bruno Senna wall. Yeah, we'll probably think of corner names if there's no name. If there's no name for corners, we'll try and think of one. So we'll try and think of one. But Barry's still managing to hold on to 15th at the moment. But now Hamilton's 4.5 seconds behind Easy Fusion. Steerage up into 3rd right now. Zillion has dropped it down to 14th. Oh, so that mistake has costed him quite a lot of time, and he will have to pit again as well, because those softs, especially with tyre compress on, is not going to last for about 26 laps. They'll have to pit again, unless they can provide a miracle, because to be honest, on this game, Xbox has a little bit less grip on tyres than the other consoles. So I don't think they're going to last 26 laps, I've got to say.
Sorry. Yeah, the hypers, they wear quickly just because they're hypers, but the only properly quick corners on this track are the last two, 22 and 23, which you normally probably take in around 5th, 6th gear. But yeah, the softs and ultras, I would have thought should last quite a long time. The softs in particular should probably last around 17, 18 laps. So I wouldn't see the soft runners pitting for a while yet, because I think Easy Fusion's just starting a 6th lap now. So they're about a third of the way through the stint.
He's doing ever so well to try and catch up to the top guys. To actually try and catch up in the championship, I've got to say. He's had a bit of poor luck, I've got to say, in the championship at times. His best finish actually was in Austria, and he had a P3 in France as well. But apart from that, his luck hasn't been that good. He's had a lot of DNFs. He's got a lot of P8s and P9s as well, but not scored quite high apart from those two in France and Austria. So he's looking for a good finish today, and it's looking very likely for him at the moment. Not going to jinx much at the moment, but let's just see. Steerage is around about 6/10 behind Hamilton, and we do have, I think, Dark Phoenix and AJH was in a battle, the two Ferraris as well. And I wonder how that is going to play out between those guys as well. Coming up, we've got Zanardi trying to catch up as well. AGH getting a better run, I think, from the two Ferraris. And I think we've got Dome Thunder as well trying to catch up. So we already got a train midfield trying to catch up. That is why Singapore has a lot of battles, because quite quickly, if you're in the midfield and you start to slow down, then the field can slowly catch up to you. Oh my word, AJH trying to close in onto Atlantis. I think Dark Phoenix managed to overtake Atlantis as well. So can AJH try and close in on these on sector 3? He's on sector 3 at the moment. Maybe he could try and catch up. Oh, that was close. He almost hit the wall, but yeah, try and avoided that with
sector 2 and sector 3. That's Barry again. I think he went straight on. He just went into a runoff area.
Barry's having some bad luck tonight. You just got to be careful, I've got to say, trying to catch up to him, but to the rest of the guys. But he can, and he's still got AGH in the other side by trying to get some points in the constructors anyway. So not all is lost, as he's already on good pace at the moment. Zillion is not looking too good either. He's got 3-second time penalty. He's just overtook Leopard in the 4th India. The hat is quite hard to track to the colours of the cars. As I think they're side by side at the moment. It looks looks like Atlantis gets a better run from AJH there in the corner, getting a switchback done. Titans closing in as well. An unlikely suspect, I got to say, in the Mercedes trying to catch up as well. This is absolutely incredible between these guys. In Singapore, usually, this is where we find the midfield battles happen more than the lead battles, I've got to say, because the leaders usually pull away from the rest of the field, but the midfield starts to try and catch up to them, and they are at similar pace. And that is what these guys are doing at the moment as we are heading towards lap 7. And I do believe around about soon is where we start to see the Ultras start to pit in a few laps' time. So, as I can hear my tummy rumbling there. Hopefully you didn't get that on stream. But Dole, oh my word, Dark Phoenix, he lost it a little bit there. JJ Rocks has lost it as well. There's a bit of lag from
JJ Rocks still lagging quite a bit, but he has lost a bit of his wing, so I'm not expecting him to catch Dark Phoenix that quickly.
AJH.
Easy Fusion in a bit of a world of his own at the moment, has to be said. I mean, he's not quite in the lead as much as I saw somebody yesterday. Somebody won. I was going to take on the lead yesterday by about 50 seconds.
Whoa.
So, really an average. Setting fast laps of the race, and he's in traffic. So he has got the pace. He's in a lot of traffic. And he's just lost a bit of his wing.
Ooh. So that's lost a little bit there between these guys.
Doesn't seem that bad. He should be able to carry on.
He should be able to. It looks like it's minor damage
And Thunder
anyway.
tapped the wall.
So, and Dome Thunder looks like he's lagging as well because he's twitching everywhere. He's like weaving like, I'm trying to think of a saying, like,
Dummy. Oh, he goes up the inside of the Titan Prime though.
Ways of saying it was left
And he
box,
makes it
he's
stick.
tired. So, yeah. As I think.
Even with that wing damage, Zillion Average is making moves stick. He's going up the inside of the Ferrari. That's in the wall. Maybe just.
Ooh, that was close. Unfortunately, we didn't get that in the stream, unfortunately. But I think the top guys are handling their tyres actually not too bad at the moment, as I was predicting in the race. As it just goes to show who's managing their tyres well, who is not. As I think, I'm just going to check. I think Zillion has appeared on this. Wait a minute. Zillion has appeared on the Ultra, so I think he's definitely doing a two-stop. He's definitely doing a two-stop by the sound of it.
His next tyres will probably be the soft, I would have thought, because he'll probably pit around lap 15. It's a bit too long for the AJH getting it all wrong there. That's a bit too long for the Ultras to go on as a stint on their own, so we'll probably have to just run the softs a bit shorter.
Yeah.
That's not an overtaking spot we see a lot of people use, but he's used it anyway. Turn 22.
Yeah, that is not the best move to do an overtake, but he's done that with ease, which is absolutely crazy. We've seen AOR, Andrew, yeah, we've seen the Ultra Soft runners pitting right now, and Atlantis as well. Easy Fusion staying out at the moment. He's, I think he's the one that's coping a bit more and can stretch it a little bit. Titan 5 and Dome Thunder. Titan 5 got that move done on Dome Thunder, but actually wasn't really that surprised as Dome Thunder was lagging ever so slightly going through into that corner, I've got to say. As I don't know how Titan 5 got that move done with that lad, but it may be an issue our end, not their end, because they may be fine as drivers, but it might be a broadcast glitch our end, but we don't know. We'll have to wait and see for that one. Jason, on the other hand, is in 4th place on those softs. A little bit too far behind from Steerage at the moment. Steerage closing in onto it is APS teammate, APS Hamilton. Both on, they're on the same tyres, so they're going to pit roughly around about the same time, around about lap 15, I think, lap 20. Depends on how they can push those tyres a little bit more. They may have seen on a few league races how the others managed to push their soft tyres for the opening stint, so I wonder how that's going to turn out as well. As yeah, Fusion is doing his absolute best to try and catch up. Fusion at the moment, I think if he pits now, he's going to pit around. He's going to be around about P4, P5, so he's still going to be in a good position if he pits now. Already, but he's got to pit before the soft runners do. So I won't be surprised if he pits the next few couple of laps coming up as well. So he's basically doing time trial laps. So I think what he's doing is conserving his tyres because he's on softer tyre, he's conserving him a little bit to last for a bit longer than he's intended to, and that is working very well for him. As a Dome Thunder, I think another one of the ultra soft runners pitting onto a set of softs. Andrew going from soft to ultras, I believe. So that is quite an audacious strategy, I've got to say. Because, again, like you said, Jack, the ultras don't last very long. So, I think we do have a few people on the two-stop.
You can't forget that it's not such as a soft tyre, medium tyre and hard tyre, which you normally see. And there's all one compound difference. The softs will last a lot longer than probably either the ultras or the hypers, because the softs are 2 compounds harder than the ultras softs. So the Atlantis has gone into the wall somewhere. I'll go on board with Dun Thunder. It's quite an unusual position. I think he's just hit the wall and he's managed to steer his car over to the right hand side of the track and off the racing line. So that's good effort
Fusion's in the pits.
for other people's, to keep other people's races out of that same wall.
Yeah. I did predict Fusion was going to pit now, and he is. Let's see where he's going to end up. He's on a set of soft tyres. That's definitely going to go to the end. I know on other league races on around Singapore last night, it does go around about 20 or 22 laps. No problem. The number 22 car is P4, maybe P5. Oh my word! Oh my word! That
was a lucky ghosting.
That cost him a lot of time there. Has he got damage? Don't think so. That's not going to help his tyres though, I've got to say. But that was very close for me, Fusion. My heart was racing there, and I got to say. So
yeah, lucky it was just a spin, because if that was any more of a clonk like we saw again Massa and Nico Hulkenberg do, Hulkenberg didn't see Massa on the inside because he was in his blind spot, and then they just sort of collected each other on the curb, and that sent Hulkenberg into the wall. Massa managed to get away without any damage, but yeah, that could have been worse. EC Fusion, I think he might have a bit of wing damage, but I'm not seeing anything on there because he's getting a lot of understeer at the moment. It might just be cold tyres.
Oh, he's in the wall
plonks
again.
That wall as well. That was a bit of carbon fibre that flew off.
So he'll have to pit again probably, which is not what he would want, because he was hoping to be in the lead. But I don't know, because he's keeping going now, but you'll see how he can cope for these next couple of laps. As
even though I'm not sure about you, but even though it does say for me at least that his tyres are purple, they are in fact softs.
Oh.
That's just a glitch in the game.
Yeah, I did see him pit on the softs anyway, so but just in case.
Okay, cool, because they're purple for me.
Yeah, as Zillion going into the pits again, 3 laps earlier than I thought actually. As so he's on for a 2-stop, and he's going. I think he's going to the end of this race. Then he drops back down into 12th, but some of the soft runners haven't pitted yet. So, but I think he's a bit too far behind, and some of them to try and catch up. As Zillion's dropped it down to 14th at the moment. Hamilton's in the lead at the with, with Stewart in second. As I'm just going to check who has stopped and who hasn't. The only ones that have stopped right now is Fusion, Andrew, Ados, JJ Rocks, Cillian and Dome Thunder. Most of these guys stopped due to damage, and Fusion is choosing to stay out, I believe, in the Williams. So it must be that the damage it's not affecting him that much, I don't think. Because his front wing doesn't look that bad. It's minor damage, but I think Jeff is telling him that he can continue, I think, and that's what he's doing. And he's probably used to the damage before around Singapore, so he's just learning to let go and just try and catch up. As Dark Phoenix is in 4th. Oh, that's a bit tight again from Easy Fusion. As he almost hit the gearbox of Dark Phoenix there. He's got to be careful. He doesn't want any more damage, otherwise he'll probably have to pit again. As those two go through the final corner, he's around about, he's trying to catch up. Looks like Easy Fusion
I think Dark Phoenix actually lets him pass.
he lets him pass, I think.
Dark Phoenix, he came off the gas a bit, I think, so I didn't really want any resistance.
I think it might have been a break
I think that might
check.
have been a bit of an apology to for coming to contact, because it was a bit of unnecessary contact. I just don't think Dark Phoenix expected him to come out of the pits so quickly, because he did have a really good exit on the pit lane. He just, unfortunately, they came to blows.
Yeah, which is unfortunate, I gotta say. But Fusion, Easy Fusion, I know him from other leagues. He is a fighter, so he's gonna carry on and catch up. And I'm seeing similar to what I've been seeing last night. The guys on the soft tyres are pretty much a pit stop ahead of everybody else, just like last night. Well, last night there was one person, tonight it's two. So I just gotta say, starting on those soft tyres is probably the way to go around Singapore, because usually it just works. And the three championship contenders are trying to contend with. Jace has not won the championship fight at the moment, but potentially in the next few races he could be. Potentially.
Oh, Steerage sold a dummy there to Hamilton when he tried to, but Hamilton read into that. And these two have been probably around the second apart the whole race. These guys are so equal on pace, they can't. Hamilton doesn't feel the need to defend, but Steerage doesn't really feel the need to attack either, because they're not holding each other up. They're still both going at a pretty decent pace, even though Steerage is in that dirty air, so his tyre wear is going to be a bit harder, and his engine is going to be a bit hot. But other than that, they're both sticking to each other pretty well. I think that's one of the reasons why Steerage isn't really going for a move, because he says, if I'm just going to go a pit stop later or a pit stop earlier and try the undercut, the only reason I think these two are going to get past each other is if they pit on different laps. And as I think you can see, it has started to spit on my screen.
What, in Singapore? Wait.
It started to spit.
I am shocked. I am shocked with what is happening on my screen right now. This is because we don't get told the weather. It hardly rains in Singapore on this game, and it just rains like that. I think, to be honest, I brought the rain curse of ILR3 to the race. It either happens in qualifying or the race, and today it's the race. So I think that's why Hamilton and Steerage haven't pitted yet. They're waiting for the right time to go onto the inters. So Hamilton and Steerage are playing this perfectly. If they can keep this up.
If they can wait long enough, it's only extremely light rain, so it probably won't be wet enough for about 6 or 7 laps maybe. But if they can hold it out, then they'll be in the lead by such a substantial amount.
And they won't have to pit again.
Yeah, exactly.
So unless the track does rain it even harder. I'm glad they didn't tell us, because we kind of reacted to what happened there. Morgan just said in the chat it rains all the time in Singapore. Well, I didn't know that, but Harley does in the game. So it's just a thing on this game that Harley rains in Singapore, but in real life it does. So Jason's got a penalty. That's not going to help him with his pace for the win. If he wants to get that win, I think that the hardest compound of tyres in these conditions now is probably the best tyre to be on. So Hamilton and Steerage are doing all they can to try and hold on. As I think Easy Fusion going to go side by side with Jason. He got the move done but really well. Them two taking a similar line. They both went wide a little bit, but Easy Fusion takes that move. So he's back into third. Fusion, I think, can afford to stay where he is and then pit again. Yellow flag in settle. Oh, why did someone go struggle?
Oh, that's Barry again.
No, I thought it was a William.
He's had a half spin at the third corner.
Who was it again, sorry?
Barry, he's not got any front wing, I don't think.
No.
Oh, well he has, but he's understeering a lot.
Yeah, not good at the moment. So, someone, Morgan said in the chat, we could predict, oh my word.
It's very slippery.
It is slippery. The soft could last around about lap 20 on these tyres.
Are they coming in for inters already? I think they might be. Yes, they are.
That is a gamble.
So a lot earlier. It's too slippery for them to carry on. They're coming in for inters now. So that track is getting a lot wetter than we thought it would be. I think Steerage lost quite a lot of time in the pit lane then. I think he's going to be about 2 seconds behind when he actually comes out the pits.
Wow. This is proving to be a very interesting Singapore race.
Safety car having quite a bit of fun there.
Yeah, DRS disabled.
Yes, that was perfect timing.
That is, and it's good timing for Fusion as well. Because he's, and Jason, yeah, he's pitting as well. So the ones further down the grid, they got the DRS disabled mark at the right time. The ones that haven't stopped yet, AJH, Leper, Titan, Zanardi as well. They've timed that quite well as well. Because they haven't pitted, they're going on a set of inters, they won't have to pit again.
Oh, Jason had a time penalty in the pits.
Oh, not good.
And now he's going to have to wait for other cars to go past.
Morgs thinks it's
Lost
too
2
early.
positions in the pit lane there.
Morgs thinks it's too early, but it is quite predictable in this game. You never know when the rain... Oh, I've just seen the safety car shake like crazy.
Yeah, the safety car has fun in Singapore.
Yeah, I've got to say... So, some people think it's too early, some people think it's just the right time to go on to winters. We will have to wait and see. The track looks like it's dry, but it is coming it down. But due to the fact it is quite slippery in places, we'll never know on this game. We'll have to find out at some point who's got the strategy right, who hasn't. Pretty much everybody hasn't stopped yet has gone on to a set of inters. The ones that have... Zillion's got wait. Zillion's on wets. Okay.
Wet?
Yep, he's on full wet.
That's a gamble.
That is a gamble. Barry's gone into the pits.
He's got nothing to lose. That is his place now because his strategy has just fallen away from him completely. Was that planned? I'm not sure. It's definitely not wet enough yet for full wets.
No.
A bit like what we saw from Gasly and Hockenheim this year.
Yeah. As Hamilton's still managing to do well on those inters, so I think it could pay off. But I wonder how long these inters are going to last though until the end. We'll have to find out as well. So we'll just have to wait and see what goes on. But the ones that were waiting to find out whether we're going to pit, probably that's why a lot of the guys at the bottom half of the grid started on the softs, because they know what the weather was going to be like. They knew it was going to rain around about this time, so they thought, go on the softs, wait until around about this time to pit, it will pay off. So that's why we saw a lot more people qualify on the softs more than the ultras. That probably explains our case a little bit more. And the ones who
Barry again.
And that's why not many people
He's gone a
qualified
bit
on
wide.
Vipers. Oh, Barry's lost it again. Oh, he's not having it. It's not his favourite race, I've got to say. But he was saying in the chat he wasn't looking forward to it. So, am I surprised about Barry? I don't think so. So.
Ooh, Dark Phoenix getting a bit of a moment going between turns 3 and 4 there. Just a bit too much power. Gets quite close to the wall. And
Yeah.
40-second gap between P3 and P2.
Steerage and Hamilton are on a league of their own at the moment. They pitted at the right time, I think, in these conditions. The rain is getting
Are we
worse.
desyncing into F2 at the moment?
Pardon?
Are we desyncing into the Formula 2 race with Hamilton and Steerage?
What do you mean? I didn't see the
Oh,
Singapore
it's a really
race.
bad joke, I'm sorry. Phoenix lets Fusion past.
Wow. So that, I
It
think...
didn't really look like a moment. It did just look like he pulled over to one side and let him pass. I'm not too sure what went on there. He's now going to have to look at the McLaren of ILR3 Jason behind him.
Yeah, as Jason's doing quite well on the set of inters as well. So the ones that have pitted, oh, we got yellow flag, that's probably Barry again. No, it's not Barry. Oh, the yellow flag's gone, so I didn't quite see who that was. Steerage is closing in onto Hamilton already. So I think, to be honest, I think since they've been in this league, Hamilton and Steerage have definitely been ever so close on pace for these guys. In Belgium they got a 1 and 2, but I think they were different in Italy. I didn't quite remember where they finished in Italy, but they were quite close together again. Out of all of the races, I think Steerage has got the most wins, so he really wants to get a win today, and Hamilton wants to try and close in onto Steerage's win. So this could be a fight on our hands for the championship. Easy Fusion is ghosted. He disconnected, I think. So
That's a big ups.
That is a big ups for Easy Fusion. Dark Phoenix has overtaken him. But that was probably due to the ghosting. Thank goodness ghosting's on, because otherwise, what would have happened there? And Fusion's just, Fusion is angry. He's just got disconnected. And the pause was the word that I'm not allowed to say on the stream. He is annoyed. So hopefully he can join back. But that's just lost a bit of time, I think, from him at the moment. So unfortunate.
I just mute that, sorry. That was a big echo.
Yeah. Echo. I gotta say, I had to turn my headphones down as well. So and I gotta say, yes, I agree with Morgan on that. APS Hamilton and Steerage are probably on a league of their own, and kind of like Rosberg and Hamilton in real life, I've got to say. So I won't be surprised if next season they could go into ILR2, because they've got the pace for it at the moment. As I think these two guys are hoping to be in the tier 2 this season, and I won't be surprised if they will be promoted to that tier. Usually the winner of each tier gets promoted as to the tier directly above them. So there's a competition in itself who could get into tier 2, but it looks like between those two, they both can. So I've got to say, but the best of the rest at the moment is Dark Phoenix. Oh no, Zanardi! He's out. He's I didn't quite catch it.
I think he dropped it under brakes.
Oh.
Going into the turn 5, I think that is. Turn 6 maybe.
Oh no, I was hoping he would get some points. He did get really good points last week in Monza, but unfortunately that's not meant to be. And Easy Fusion is just sending the chat, he's given up. Oh mate. Oh no, that is just, I can't feel so bad for Easy Fusion. He had a really good start as well, but his internet has finally given up. Hopefully it can recover next week though. His AI is still there, but I think it will count as a disconnect on the standings, so unfortunately he won't gain any points. But the conditions are getting worse around here. I do see a lot of drops on the card already, and I'm starting to see puzzles forming. But I don't know if it's going to get worse or they're going to stay on enters. I don't know. It will be interesting to find out what is going to happen here about what is going on.
Steerage is caught right back up to Hamilton. He had that 2-second deficit after the pit stop, but he's managed to just have a little bit more consistency. Every now and again you see Hamilton go a bit deep, having a bit of oversteer, but again we are only 2/3 of the way to this race, so we've got another 11 laps to defend from Steerage. Steerage getting a bit of a slide on, but gets it through the corner nicely.
Yeah, Steerage manages to conserve his tyres a lot more. And I think some people might be relieved that they're on the wets, as the ends are a bit cooler than the other tyres. Oh, Barry has lost it again. And I think it was set to 3. Yes, it was. He lost it just before the bridge. Yeah, just before the bridge. So, unfortunately, I think that's his race over, I think. And I think what Zanardi did, I think he pitted to wet by accident. And I think that's what cost him, and he realised that mistake, and I think he just retired the car. Which is, I think, quite unfortunate for Zanardi, and I think that's what happened. I think that's why he retired, but I don't know, unless he could say what happened in the Twitter chat. I will get some information as we see fit, as I think we've got Jason trying to close up to Dark Phoenix, and we've got Titan Prime to AJ8. That's the only battle happening at the moment. We've also got battle for the lead. We've got 11 laps to go. Barry getting another time penalty. I won't be surprised if we see a lot more time penalties, I've got to say.
APS guys are just unbelievably quick at the moment. I'm not too sure what Steerage is doing now. I think he had a bit of a moment, but he's dropped back to around 1.5 seconds behind Hamilton.
Yeah.
But about around 3 laps, since I said the 40-second gap, they've increased that almost by another 6 seconds. But God knows where they're getting all this pace from.
That is remarkable between these guys. Azul.
Oh, Titan Prime and AJH have just come together.
Oh, and they come together again.
And Dun Thunder's hit them.
And AJ, what? That's harsh. That is harsh. 5 seconds to go from AJH.
So I think that was... I didn't see whose fault it was between AJH and Titan Prime, but AJH, there wasn't really any way Dun Thunder could have avoided AJH, because AJH was sort of strewn across the track sideways. Dun Thunder's lost pretty much all of his front wing, so he's going to have to pit. Titan Prime, he's lost a few turning vanes, he's should be okay. AJH, not too sure what's his front wing's like. It looks a bit more like a 2019 wing, 2018 wing at the moment, because he's the structure of the wing's still there, but pretty much all the turning vanes have gone.
Yeah, pretty much. I got to say. So this is I do see the track getting worse. It is starting to chuck it down a lot more. Can we see some wets?
So those wet tyres might be used.
That is
we haven't got 14
why...
cars clearing that water.
Sorry, I keep interrupting you today. I'm so sorry. Carry on.
Yeah, I was going to say, because of that, I think it's heavy rain now. We might actually see those wet weather tyres actually come out and be put on some cars at the end if it gets too aquaplane-y, too slippery into some of the braking zones, particularly into turn 1, turn 7. One of the really heavy braking zones. God knows what corner it's for, but yeah, it's coming down hard now. We've only got 14 cars clearing all that water, so wets could be used by the time we get to the end.
Yeah, I think so. And I think what Zanardi did was he had basically, sometimes you usually set your pit stops and get your next tyres ready, and he might have just done it a bit too early, set his next lot of tyres a bit too early, I think. So I think that's what Zanardi done, and that's why he made a mistake. Because I think, why a set of wets? But now saying that, conditions are getting worse. The wets, I think the wets are definitely going to be used. What was your call in the chat, guys, about these wet conditions? Are we going to see wets? I think so. Morgan, pretty much I can call Morgan our chief strategist, I got to say in the chat. Because he's quite knowledgeable around each track of the circuit, so he can give us a few ideas. But right now, Ados is in 6th at the moment. He's doing quite well on those tyres, but I do see a lot of cars is getting quite slippery at the moment on these inters, and yeah, I think this will be, if it was qualifying, this will be full wets, I've got to say. Do you think that? If it was that?
I was just sort of, I'm not too sure what's just happened to the F1 stream, but they've got about 10 laps in, and then the stream's been cut. I think they might be going for a restart, but I'm not sure.
I think what happened, they were stuck for lap 10 for quite a while, and
Why? Great game. Great game.
Don't mention about that. And so I literally went to see what's happening there, and I just,
yeah, I'll just ignore that for the minute.
Yeah, ignore that and concentrate on this, because this is heating up to be an interesting race, and it is probably going to be about an hour race by the looks of things due to these wet conditions.
Probably over that, because I think we're seeing well into the 2-minute laps now. I wouldn't be surprised. I think Hamilton Steerage just said just under a 2-minute lap, but when we get the wet tyres out, it'll definitely be over 2 minutes.
Yeah, it would be over 2 minutes. As yellow flag in sector 1.
Barry
again, and I think Easy Fusion is still out on track. On what is AI control, so but luckily it's a ghost. But is that going to hinder the guys around him? I don't really know. I need to turn my mic down because I'm hearing a little bit of echo on my end. So I will turn mine down ever so slightly. Oh no, that's not the highest I can turn it down. Oops. Anyway, Jaden Bott's getting a 3-second time penalty, which I think he's got quite a lot, and he's lagging quite a bit, but not as much as usual. So I think his connection has improved ever so slightly.
Ooh, Hamilton going deep. Steerage going to have an opportunity.
Jason, Andrew, and Dark Phoenix are pitting on a set of wets.
Oh, but I don't think that'll be enough. Even if Steerage and Hamilton didn't make the right call, I think they still probably be well ahead of the other three. Ados does capitalise off that now. Now though, gets put up position. He's going to have to pit again though, if the rain doesn't lighten up. So ILR3 still has his podium finish, but WR Dark Phoenix and AR Andrew close behind him. Yellows in sector 3.
Barry.
Not sure what that was for. But now Steerage and Hamilton should be coming in on this lap with about 8 laps to go.
Yeah, I think
no, Steerage is staying out and Hamilton's staying out. So they're trying to hang it. Oh no, Steerage is past Hamilton. I missed that.
I missed that too. I missed that as well,
I think
because I was
Hamilton
concentrating on the
starting
pit
to
stops.
struggle a bit with his front brakes.
Ooh, that was unfortunate. Titan also the other person who is staying out on the set of inters. Barry and Dylan and AJH pitting. AJH getting another penalty across the pit lane exit.
That's harsh. I don't care what anyone says. With this sort of rain and that harsh of a penalty, such as a small infringement as crossing the white line on the pit lane, even by half a tyre width, and then you get slapped a 5-second stop go, it's ridiculous. It genuinely is.
It is quite a harsh penalty, I've got to say, but in other racing sims I did, I think it was last week, I crossed the pit lane and I didn't know I crossed it and I got a stop go for it. So it is quite harsh, some of these games to do that. So pretty much I think the top two can pit now and still comfortably go in the lead. That's how far ahead they are. So they just on a league of their own at the moment. Even though Jason and Phoenix and Andrew have pitted before them, it is probably going to help Steerage and Hamilton because they're so far ahead and managed to gain a bit more time due to the fact those guys pitted again. I think that's what they were doing. They waited and they probably were going to wait until these guys pitted.
3.
Let me just see.
Not too sure what they were for.
I don't know either. It is quite hard. It is quite hard to tell on this game, I've got to say. But hey ho, it was.
I think Steerage and Hamilton might be trying to stick it on the inters. I mean, they've got plenty of time to do so. It's only if they lose about 10 seconds a lap at this point is the only way they're going to lose position to ADOS.
Luckily,
ADOS is trying to stick it as well. ILRT Jason's got an opportunity up the inside. It's fairly comprehensive from the two. ADOS goes wide. Dark Phoenix is going to go up the inside as well, and then that goes to the outside line. ADOS not able to match the grip that these guys have on those inters. I think it would have been wise for ADOS to pit earlier.
ADOS is struggling on those inters.
Quite nicely though. Orange is going to get the switchback move done. ADOS lose 3 positions then.
ADOS has to pit now. He is slippering everywhere.
Oh, he goes into the back of Andrew.
Oh no.
And if he gets out of the wall, ADOS is going to have to pit now regardless because he's lost quite a bit of his front wing.
Yeah, that is very unfortunate from ADOS Gamer, but he's got around about 6 laps to go on those full wets and see if they can make a name of themselves. How's Titan Prime doing on those engines? He's not doing too bad at the moment actually. But he seems to be doing alright, so hopefully he can try and get some down. He can try and get P5 perhaps. JJ Box another penalty. He's got to be careful with penalties because he could get disqualified and we don't want any disqualifications, I've got to say, from these guys. How is Steerage and Hamilton looking? Steerage is still managing to pull away from Hamilton with no struggle whatsoever. I'm very impressed between these guys. They are coping like a car bonnet. And are they going to pit? I'm just seeing. No, I think Hamilton was waiting to see what Steerage was going to do because it is getting quite dark as well, so it's quite hard to see the start finish straight. But yeah, I think they're going to pit again around about lap 27. It's kind of like a prediction game. Who's going to pit? And visibility is quite hard, as Morgan is saying. Around here, that's why I think we're seeing a lot more issues with track as well. Jason in P3. I'm doing alright in predictions here. I said Steering Hamilton and Jason going to do well in this race. They're P1, 2, and 3 right now. I must deserve a medal.
I mean, it just shows, even though these tyres are much more acclimatised, the wet tyres are much more acclimatised to conditions, Lewis and Hamilton are keeping the gap at a 1:16. So they've not really got any need to pit at the moment. They've still got 5 laps left, well, 5.5 laps left at this point.
They're definitely drivers of the day at the moment, I think, it's got to be between Steerage and Hamilton, because I think...
You can look at the position change a minute. Dark Phoenix as well has got to be up there.
Pardon, sorry?
Dark Phoenix up 10.
Wow. And let me just see who else actually is gaining quite a bit.
Jason up 6.
Hamilton up 5. Leopard up 4. I think the only person...
Yellow sector 2. That is Leper.
Yeah, Leper is struggling by looks of things on those wets. Oh, he went a bit wide again. He's probably going to get a warning by looks of things. Because of his struggleness. Why did I say struggleness on stream? I don't know. But we've got a few more laps to go.
And half the running drivers have been lapped as well. So that just shows the sort of differences between fortunes at the moment, because there have been a lot of times where things could have gone wrong for a driver in this race, and I think Steerage and Hamilton have just managed to stay away from those.
Yes. I'm very impressed with these guys. And also someone that's doing very well, Titan Prime in a Mercedes, up 4 positions. He was down bottom and struggling to start with, but I think he pitted at the right time for a set of wets. And, he's hitting set of inches as well. Let me just check a second. He's on the set of inches, so I think he's on the set of inches. As well as Steerage and Hamilton, Titan's also managing those inches quite well as well. So I think the only one also on the inters not doing very well is ADOS. But the other 3 on the inters not doing too bad. So Titan trying his mighty to see if he can stretch these inters to the end of the race. But I think the rain, is coming down less at the moment. So it might be just me.
Yeah, it's halted. It's lifted off, so the Inters are going to start coming back to the top 2 at the moment, and ADOS and Titan Prime. See if anybody else is using the Inters. No, it's just those 4.
At the moment, I think it's very important to check the weather by the looks of things, and if you check the weather, it will help you prepare for the race, and I think that's what these 2 have done. That's probably why they haven't pitted. So they haven't gone on the set of wets at all. They're probably going to be the only ones on a 1 stop for the whole race. Everyone has either pitted 2 or 3 times. And probably going to be another 3 or 4.
Zillion average has pitted 4 times.
Yeah, Jesus,
no, 6 times. Jesus.
That is like a record I've seen in Singapore, I've got to say. So basically it started dry, then it went to inters, then it went to full wets, and then it's going to be back to inters again by the looks of things. So we're pretty much seeing everything apart from a safety car. But I don't want any safety cars.
Zillion average just come out of a spin, I think.
That was a bit of a struggle. I got to say.
I think ADOS and Titan Prime are switching places. Titan Prime got past ADOS. Oh!
What
the hell just happened then?
Zillion is out.
What just happened?
Okay.
Was that a lag spike? I don't know.
Or was it? It looked like desync on my screen.
No, that was. I don't think that was any sort of lag. That was, I think, a genuine just glitch with the game. ADOS, because lag doesn't cause someone to just stop completely on track like that. I mean, his car was actually stopped because when actually no, it's Titan that stopped. When Ados hit the back of Titan, he jumped forward like he did hit him at that sort of momentum. What on earth happened then? I think that was more of a glitchy game than fault of any of the drivers.
I literally don't know. I was following one of the drivers, but they had a little bit of it was a helicopter shot, so Titan will have to pit, probably for Seb enters. Steerage!
Oh, steerage just got...
And Hamilton as well. I was going to say.
Andrew's going to have a look at Jason.
They're side by side at the
outside.
moment.
I don't think he's going to get anything done. He gets forced off by Jason. I think Jason just got a bit of understeer. Managed to get both back on the track, and Andrew manages to get past.
Only just though from Andrew. Andrew, another big gainer, in the ones who have gained the most out of the tyre situation. Are they going to manage those wet tyres to the end? It is gamble, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. As I was going to say, steerage get that penalty, so Hamilton was on course to win, but now Hamilton got the penalty as well. So that means I think they're even on penalties, according to it. So, because Andrew and Jason are so far back, the battle for the win is still going to be between steerage and Hamilton. But since steerage, our championship leader, is already pulling away from the rest of the field, that is probably going to be advantage steerage, I think. Oh, yellow flag set to 1. Oh, I couldn't see who that was.
Didn't see anything.
No, the boy just
Someone might have just gone wide.
Yeah, and we are, I think, pretty much past the hour mark, I think, of the race, pretty much. 10 minutes to go, I think. So, probably the longest race I ever commentated on, I've got to say. But anyway, Dark Phoenix, I think, has made his way past Andrew. Dark Phoenix around about 1.5 seconds behind.
I think I think that yellow flag might have been for a bit of a spin from Andrew, because he's coming in into tyres, but not a wing change. And a stop go.
So that is not going to help them whatsoever.
Titan Primer, 10 second time penalty corner cutting.
I didn't see what happened there from Titan, so I can't really call that. That must have been a really huge corner cut. Again, it'll be interesting to see how that comes to light. We've got 2 more laps to go on this really crazy Singapore Grand Prix, I must say. And I hope you guys been enjoying it so far. I definitely have, because of the craziness.
Race winner.
Yeah, I think 2 words to describe it is wet and ILR one-less.
Wet and more wet. I got to say, Ados here. Ados has lost actually. AOR Andrew's flying. JJ rocks back into 5th place. Penalties can definitely come into play towards the mid-half of the field. Oh, that was very tight from Andrew.
Rocks has gone into the wall. He's gone straight on. Lost pretty much all of his front wing. Not really worth pitting for that.
No.
But yeah, he's lost 2 positions.
Literally got 1 more lap to go, so if they pit, that's going to lose a lot of time. That's going to be probably in last place. So he's got to do all he can. And I think the wet tyres are probably not the best tyres to be right now. Do we have another issue?
Hamilton clonked the wall of it there. That was hard.
And look at Ados' front wing. It is damaged.
Yeah, it's pretty much gone completely.
I think he can't pit now, surely. No, he's not.
No, there's no point. He's going to lose so much more time pitting now than if he just carried on.
Yeah, so we are on our final lap then of this very crazy Singapore Grand Prix. Thanks to everyone that's been sticking with us. Steerage and Hamilton are probably my joint drivers of the day, like I said, because they've been pretty much together the whole race. They've been judging the weather. They've been managing the wet tyres and the inters during those horrible wet conditions, they were still managing to race quite hard on them for the whole race, for that wet stint. So they have done ever so well to try and do that. They're the only ones that were on the one stop. Everyone else pitted about two extra laps. So yeah, APS, Steerage and Hamilton, the only ones that have pitted only once. So that just goes to show the high caliber of Steerage and Hamilton in these types of conditions. I think because they're so further ahead on the championship, I think it's between Steerage and Hamilton for the championship right now. I don't think anyone else is going to stand close between them. So
I'm not too sure what it's like on penalties, but all I know is Steerage did have more. So we're not over the line yet.
What?
I think he might have done.
Ooh. I didn't think of that. I thought they got the same amount of penalties, but they haven't. So
Hamilton has been more generous with his penalties, but don't think it might only be one less, so I think it will stay the same.
We'll have a look. We'll have a look as they come towards the final corner. Steerage is going to take the win on track. Is he going to win on penalties? Let's see. Hamilton across the line.
Yes, he is.
He does. I thought so.
Just.
Only just. So well done to Steerage and Hamilton for P1 and P2. Looks like Jason.
ILR3 Jason still almost has a whole lap to complete still.
And so does Dark Phoenix as well. That's 2.4 seconds behind him. And
So there's only
5th and 6th. Dome Thunder, I think, is about to come across the line and finish. In P7, JJ Rocks only just finishes with a damaged front wing. I gotta say, the 2 Force Indians with that damaged front wing, props to them for keeping going. I would have probably pitted, so well done to them. Time flying across the line in 8th, Easy Fusion. It's going to be 10th on track, but I don't think it's going to count for EDC. Oh, it's 8th now. AGH, I think it's going to cross the line in 11th. 11th was like 2 or 3 laps down. By looks of things. Let's see what's going to happen with Jason and Dark Phoenix. He's still got Phoenix. They haven't even reached sector 3 yet.
yeah.
And
I think it should stay the same. I don't think these two had I don't think these two had that many penalties, so it should stay the same. Jason went a bit deep there though, because this is definitely into condition now, not wet condition. These is probably going to start starting quite a bit. There are only 4 cars still on the lead lap, so
which is
just
the top
yeah, it
4?
just again shows the difference in opportunities and luck, general luck that drivers had.
Yeah, Singapore is purely sometimes about luck, but usually I think you just gotta wing it and make sure you do it. As Jason comes across the line, I think he's going to stay in P3, and then Dark Phoenix got more penalties. Yeah, no, Dark Phoenix stays P4, Jason stays P3. Wow. What a race! I can hardly breathe with all the things that happened. It was dry, then it was wet, then it was really wet, and then it was wet. So I gotta say, I'm gonna give ratings for now. I say 9 out of 10. Good
8, 9 out of 10 for me as well.
Yeah, a good race from particularly the top 3, the top 2 especially, I think, for managing to get that strategy perfect and avoiding carnage pretty much the whole race. I don't think it was basically they didn't touch anybody else apart from when they were lapping them. So here we go. Here are the standings then. ADOS and Infusion. Only ones to not get penalties there. Steerage taking the win, followed by Hamilton in P2, Jason in P3, Dark Phoenix in P4, Andrew in P5, ADOS in P6, Dome Thunder in P7, Fusion 8, JJ Rocks in 9th, Titan in 10th, gets your final point with AGH, Leper, Barry, and your non-finishers, which are Zillion, Zanardi, Atlantis, and Blazing Slender. And that is your Singapore Grand Prix. Will we have time for interviews?
Up to you. I don't really mind.
I don't. mind as well. It'll be interesting to see how Steerage and Hamilton handled the changing conditions, because it must have been like very tough for them. So I'm just gonna see if I do have them. I don't think I do though. I will double check. No, I don't think I have any of them. On my friends list. Do you? Oh, I have steerage.
Just do the game.
I have steerage. So I add him. Do you have Hamilton?
Yeah, ILR3 Jason wants interview, so I guess we'll do them.
Yeah. I actually remember this time. Yay. Pretty proud of myself actually remembering. So Jason's just joined. I think we're waiting for
Yeah, I've invited them all.
One more. Okay. So
All I've got to say to that's terrifying on a pad in Singapore.
I'm not surprised.
Especially in the wet conditions.
yeah, I think since you're speaking, Jason, we may as well go to you first. P3. That must have been very terrifying on the pad, especially with those changing conditions. You must be pretty happy with that, surely?
Yeah, I was happy. I'm happy with P3 because my pace wasn't really there for this race, so it was just trying to be consistent. And well, there was nowhere near catching Hamilton and Steerage. They're on a different pace to me, so third place I can take. So can't complain at that.
And you pitted to the wets for everybody else as well. And were you struggling on those inters on those wet conditions? Was that why you stayed on the wets and then pitted onto inters? Do you think that was a bit of faster strategy for you?
Yeah, because I went on the wets because the inters on that lap when I came in, the rear end was just sliding through every corner. So I had the strategy from Jeff saying pit, so I went for it and it worked out.
Yeah, well done to you, Jason. You're closing up to the championship quite well for the rest of the field, because you could be best of the rest pretty soon. Your next I don't know who your next rival is, because the championship standings hasn't been updated, but how are you going to try and catch up when the next race comes about?
Russia's a good track for me, so I expect to be on the pace and up the front in that track, so hopefully I can claw more points.
Good confidence. I got to say, so yeah, well done to you, Jason, and keep up the good work.
Cheers.
P2 Hamilton, that was fine towards the bitter end between you and Steerage there, and you were keeping in close, and you were doing very well to try and handle those inters. How was those conditions for you? Because it must have been hard.
No, it was really good. I had so much grit. Oh no, wait. It was horrendous. It was like driving on ice. Oh god, I don't want to do that again. Those conditions.
And yeah, you were like, it must have been you were like you were on ice, because you were on wet conditions and you were still on those inters tyres. You must have known about the weather to stay on those inters for so long. What made you stay on them?
I mean, best thing for me is not to listen to Jeff. He constantly told me to pit in. Even on like the last 3 laps, he was telling me to go onto the wets. But he also said that it was drying up soon. So I was like, I'm not going to gain 25 seconds for my pit stop by pitting on. And I knew Steerage had a penalty, so I thought I may as well stay within 3 seconds of him. But yeah, so I didn't bother pitting.
Yeah, which I think must have been a good shout, I got to say. Pretty much you were both on a league of its own. Another second place for you. What are you going to try and do to catch up to your rival? Because we've got around about six rounds to go now. What are you gonna do to try and possibly close up to him?
Take him out so he can't score any more points. I think that's a good way.
Oh, I wonder what steerage will
Ah, I
say
should
for
have
that.
said that on stream. Oh no.
I wonder what steerage will say for that one. Yeah,
Please don't.
good. Yeah, good race for you, Hamilton. Well done. And steerage, what a race, what a win for you. Hamilton said that the conditions were tricky. Tell me, how was that a race for you in terms of strategy to try and keep those inters in the full wet conditions? 'Cause it must have been tricky for you as well.
Yeah, it was tricky. Obviously, quite a few of us started on the softs, anticipating the rain, which turned out to be the right strategy. So we all dived in on the inters, which I think most of us got it right. Just before the DRS was disabled, Jeff was telling us to change strategy, so we did that. And obviously then it's just about managing. I thought, to be honest, I could get them to the end from that point, and then it started raining heavier, so it was really tricky, like Hamilton already touched on.
Yeah.
And it's all about just keeping it out of the wall at that point. But again, like Hamilton said, it was the exact same for me. Jeff was saying that the rain was going to ease up. And I know from previous experience that if you can manage the inters through a wetter track, whereas in terms of the wets are better, then it will come back to you because you're not going to gain the pit stop time on the wets, as Hamilton said as well. 25-30 seconds, you're not going to gain back in 6 laps. So it was the right move. It was just about managing the car really back to the finish.
Yeah, and crossing that line, taking that win there, how did you feel when you crossed that line? To take that win?
To be honest, it was a bit surprising because I had 2 penalties to Hamilton's 1. Unfortunately, I think, to be honest with you, I don't actually think I deserved to win tonight. I actually think Hamilton was better, and that's not me just saying that. I honestly think he had better pace. It's just, I think he got caught behind Andrew with blue flags a little bit,
Yeah, I
which
did
made
see
me.
that.
I managed to save a bit of ERS, so I was hoping I could use it on the final 2 laps, which I did, and I think I gained 4 or 5 tenths, which just gave me enough. But I felt a bit bad because I felt like his pace was better than mine, and so it was not an easy race as usual. And the battles we have are very enjoyable, so I can't really complain.
Yeah, and going on to Russia, you've got 6 rounds left of the championship. Hamilton's closing you like a hawk. What are you going to try and do to hold on to that lead? Because you're like a really good rival, and I really can't wait to see what you can do. How are you going to challenge him then?
Yeah, so it's obviously it's been good so far this season with Hamilton with the battles, and Jason at times as well. Obviously, it's a little bit more tricky for him on a pad, so he did well tonight getting a podium. I think that's the best he could do, so
Yeah.
I'd say congrats to him before I say that.
Yeah.
And I think the main thing is just to try and keep winning. I don't think it's about trying to let my foot off the gas. I think I just need to try and keep winning, and then we'll see where that leads me. But it's not going to be easy.
Nope, it's not. And we got some tricky tracks coming up, so hopefully you're gonna handle that well. Well done to our podium sitters today. Do you have any words for these guys, Jack, before we wrap up?
No, I think you all wrapped up pretty well, to be honest. Good job from everyone,
Well,
and yeah, looking forward to Russia.
Let's put it this
That'll be
way.
boring.
Come Russia, I'm going to be a thorn in Stewage's side, so I will be up there.
Good.
There's going to be a car in your side after he takes you out.
I'm going to try and help Hamilton out.
Well, I
Pass
can't
you and
wait to see you 3 right on the track next week in Russia. Thank you guys for watching. It was a very good race to watch, I've got to say. And thank you so much for bearing with us as well. Make sure you join us next week for Russia, obviously. And obviously, we've got ILR1 and 2 on PS4 on Sunday. So make sure you stay tuned in for that if you want more Singapore action. But I've been Jess Games 95. Jack has been JSR Snakes. And we will see you same time, same place, Friday at 7:30 for Russia. Good night.